What is going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. I'm Meg. I don't know what my hair is doing. So today I'm gonna run through like a little Q&A. I posted on my Instagram twice actually because I didn't know I could go back and see the questions because I forgot to screenshot them, but turns out my Instagram is only loading one set of questions, so I'll run through those. I'll probably go over commonly asked questions that I get on like a daily basis, not even pertaining just to prep, but as of now, I am 2.5 weeks out. My show got moved up quite a few weeks, so we're gonna go over a few questions when it comes to prep. I am currently on prep for a bikini show. I'm planning to do 2 or more this season. I've done 2 previously, so that's pretty much the rundown. First thing I'm gonna start with is 2 questions that I most commonly get asked pretty much every single day. One is my height. I am 5'5". I thought I was 5'4" for my entire life. My license says 5'4". I truly believed that I was 5'4". Turns out I am 5'5". So that's my height. I'm currently weighing in at 119 pounds. And I am currently not taking creatine. Creatine is the other question I get asked about a lot. Are you on creatine? Do you recommend creatine? Yada, yada, yada. I do recommend creatine. I'm currently not on it simply because I cut it out trying to determine what factor in my life was affecting or could be affecting my skin and my acne. So I cut out pretty much all supplements. I'm slowly reintroducing them, but protein powder, creatine, pre-workout, those types of things aren't really in my routine at the moment, and I just never honestly reintroduced creatine. That's currently where we're at. No creatine for me at the moment. I'm also not taking pre-workout, and I take protein powder maybe once a month. It's very rare. I'm trying to prioritize my volume foods, so instead of going with just like a little protein shake, I'll opt for like a larger plate of chicken or turkey or something like that to help me stay a little bit more satiated. So now that that is covered, we're gonna jump into some of the questions. I'm just gonna read them off my phone. I'll probably pop it up on the screen like over here. First question, I got it a few times as well, is why did your show get moved up? So originally my first show was supposed to be July 9th, and now my first show is June 11th. So definitely a larger bump. I sent my coach my 6 or 7 week out check-in, and he sent back, look, now we're 3 weeks out. And I was like, wait, what? So that was a big change. The reason it changed and got moved up is for a few reasons. First and foremost being I'm simply going to be ready earlier. I did not need those extra few weeks to be stage ready. So there was that. I trust my coach completely. Believe me, the anxiety has taken over. It's run its course. Now I'm a lot more confident and really excited, but that did kind of shell shock me a little bit and scare me a good amount. And another reason that we decided not to do the July 9th show, which was supposed to be in Texas, is because my coach was no longer going to be at that show. He's actually going to be out of the country, and he prefers to be with his athletes at majority of the shows, or at least the ones that he can get to. So he wanted to be with me for my first show of the season and the following shows as well. So he kind of opted for me to be doing this other show. It's now in Colorado, was originally supposed to be in Texas, and the head judge at this Colorado show is also going to be a head judge at the national shows. So he wanted me to get in front of these people to get their specific feedback on what like my look is like, how my stage presence is, what feedback we can kind of manipulate and change before heading into nationals. Yeah. Another reason that we moved it up is to give me another opportunity to get my pro card. So we're gonna be doing a show June 11th, and then Junior Nationals is June 17th and 18th, which is literally the following weekend. Originally, I was shooting for Junior USA's, which was July 29th, I believe. So we're kind of moving up the whole national show shebang, hopefully giving me another chance. If it doesn't happen at Junior Nats, then I will have a lot of time to kind of regroup and get things together for another national show and hopefully have another shot at getting my pro card. So that was long-winded and basically saying I'm just gonna simply be ready before the show previously planned out. And yeah. Another question that I got a lot was, what show are you doing? So now I'm going to be doing the Mile High Showdown, I believe it's called, in Colorado. And then after that, I am aiming to go to Junior Nats in Chattanooga. I don't know if I said that right, Tennessee. I haven't been to Colorado or Tennessee, so my first time going to both of these states. I actually just booked me and my boyfriend's flight yesterday to head to Colorado. So things are getting real. How do you stay on track with calories? All right, How do you stay on track with calories? Are you hungry and want food? So yes, I'm definitely hungry. I mean, I'm eating about 1,400 calories a day right now, which is not a lot. I started prep eating about 3,300 calories, 3,200 calories a day. So definitely a giant dip. Staying on track with my calories and my macros. I currently track macros. I'm not on a meal plan, but my calories do end up being quite similar day to day just because I do tend to eat the same things every day. When it comes to staying on track with my calories, another question, I'll just pop it up at the same time, is how do you stay disciplined? It really just comes down to dedication and how badly you want to reach your goals. I think honestly, some people have it and some people don't. I think that discipline and dedication is something that some people have. They have that drive, they have that willpower, and they know what they want and they go get it. Other people maybe just don't have that drive, and if the drive is lacking, I would say the goal that they're striving towards isn't really what they want. So maybe it's a little bit easier to not stay as disciplined or not stay as dedicated to it. I know that I want my pro card. I know I can get my pro card, and I'm doing everything I can in order to make that happen. I have prepped previously. I did kind of stray away from my protocol maybe once, I believe I did on prep, and I reached out to my coach and I was like, look, that jar of peanut butter was in front of me and I overate. I think I ate like 2 spoonfuls of peanut butter one day. And he was just like, okay, like, thanks for telling me, get back on track tomorrow. That one incident of me going over my macros and not sticking to it on one day haunted me for like a few weeks. And I just don't want that feeling. I haven't had the urge to skew off of my plan. Yes, I'm getting hungry. Yes, I'm getting tired. But I don't have that I don't care mentality where I'm just gonna go into my closet and eat candy. The amount of candy in my pantry right now next to me is absurd. There's a jar of candy in front of me on my coffee table. But I don't know. I just don't have that like inclination to grab it and eat it. I know what I need to eat. I know what my macros are. I know what my protocol is, and I'm going to follow it. And I know that I'm going to feel better that way, as opposed to steering off protocol, causing some anxiety, causing me to get in my head, and then maybe on show day regretting that I did something. I don't want to go through this entire process and have any regrets about it. I want to give it my all, put forth all my effort, bring my best package, and be really proud of myself by the end of it. This one is, how do you adjust when you have daily changes? So I'm guessing that means if I get my protocol changed, like on my check-in days and things. My check-in days now are very frequent. I think it's every 3 to 4 days rather than weekly, just because we are getting closer to things. So I am getting protocol changes very frequently. At this point, for me personally, I was tracking macros even before I competed, so I'm very familiar with how to alter and manipulate my specific diet and my routine in order to hit my goals. I don't find it very difficult, and if it is difficult, again, I'm still striving towards the same goal, so I don't think it really poses much of an obstacle to me. So for example, yesterday I got my check-in back. Yesterday I went from my normal intake, I had a refeed, so my carbs shot up and I just kind of implemented more food and increased my portion sizes. And then today my calories are actually dropping from what they were before, so I'm taking away portion sizes. So it doesn't really fuck with me much. Like, I'm very easily adjustable. Another thing that I kind of like a quality about myself is when my coach came back at me and was like, hey, look, we're gonna move up our shows, let me know if you're down for this. And I was like, yes, 100%. He sent back and he was like, awesome, thanks for being so coachable. I have been called coachable for a very long time. Even when I was doing club indoor field hockey, when I was very young, into high school sports, the word that my coaches usually used about me was that I was very coachable. If they were being stern with me, if they were yelling at me, I would absorb the information and then go execute it. I wouldn't really question what they were saying to me. I wouldn't throw a fit. I wouldn't get upset if I was being yelled at or given constructive criticism or anything like that. I would absorb it, take it, not really pay attention to the tone of it, question any underlying meanings to it. I would take the information and I would do what I needed to do to get it done. So I think that when it comes to protocol changes, hearing what I have to do, it just gets processed in my mind and I do it. Okay, how to keep big glutes while on prep. So this kind of just ties into keeping muscle mass while on prep, and the way you're gonna do that is to prep for a while. Don't prep in 5 weeks, don't prep in 6 weeks. I would recommend a longer, more sustainable prep to where you're knocking down calories very slowly so that you're able to sustain your muscle mass and your strength as much as possible. Obviously, it comes down to a point where you are gonna get very small. You're gonna start to lose some muscle mass. My butt has 100% like gotten smaller in size. Lots of body fat is gonna come off. So when people kind of enter a cut and they're like, oh, my glutes are shrinking, or oh, my legs are shrinking, maybe they don't realize that some of the mass contributing to their size was body fat. And I think that's something that people get confused about, maybe. Building that muscle mass that you wanna see, and then by the time you cut, hopefully you'll just have a little bit more mass to kind of stick around and not having to chip away at. How often should one take creatine? Kind of jumping back to the beginning, creatine should not be cycled. There's absolutely no reason to cycle it. 5 grams a day, every single day. That's it. Don't need to come off of it when you're cutting. Don't need to come off of it when you're bulking. None of that. It's like taking a vitamin. Did you do any sort of bulking before? Yes. So before my first prep, I was tiny. I was I want to be lean. I want to be cut as shit. No body fat mentality was the area I was in. After my first show, I can't even believe I was that small. I'll put a picture up or something. After my first show, I entered a reverse diet, which then turned into a growth season, which then I didn't really have in mind another show date. Like, I didn't know in 2019 that I was going to compete in 2022. I just was like, I'm gonna grow, period. And then things just started to develop, and in my mind, I was like, you know what? I think it's time to prep again. So when I kind of had an idea, okay, I think I want to prep this year, I kind of pushed calories a little bit harder to make sure I was getting enough food in, putting on as much mass as I possibly could, and then got my calories up high as hell. Came to my coach, said, hey, I want to prep this year. What are your thoughts? He said, let's do it. He actually entered a pre-prep phase with me, even though I was already bulking previously. So I was bulking, honestly, I'm gonna say I was bulking for probably about like 2 years, and then entered a pre-prep phase, which is another little bit of a bulk. We got up to like 550 grams of carbs, I think. Calories at like 3,300, something stupid, something dumb. And then we started my prep. So yes, if I'm gonna recommend some advice to first-time competitors or people that want to compete, it's going to be enter a growth phase immediately. Enter a growth phase before you compete. You wanna put on as much mass as you can. These girls are jacked, bro. I wish I had more of a growth phase before I decided to prep, but I kind of just jumped into things. Next one is just how are you feeling, which is so nice. So how am I feeling? I have had a roller coaster of emotions the past few weeks. Honestly, before my shows got changed, I was like straight chilling. I felt good. Cardio was kind of getting high, starting to get a little tired, but I think something in my brain was telling me, oh dude, like you're only 6, 7 weeks out, like you're not tired, you're fine, you're chilling, don't complain, all this stuff. And I swear to you guys, the minute I got changed to 3 weeks out or whatever it was, my cardio got bumped, my food got dropped. That week, it hit me like a truck. I was so tired, so fatigued. My body, when I say tired, it's not like, oh, I'm gonna fall asleep. It's like my body is so exhausted. I feel heavy, I feel sluggish. My brain is sometimes nowhere to be found on days. I'm putting like my deli meat back in the microwave instead of back in the refrigerator, just like some weird shit going on. I will say I think I've done a good job of staying fairly positive throughout this whole process, and I'm very aware of how I'm reacting and how I'm treating the people around me. Like catching myself if I'm a little bit irritable and being like, oh, sorry, and kind of like reflecting on, okay, like relax, they didn't do anything to you. I'm definitely getting more irritable. If I like stub my toe, I'll freak out. If I drop my water bottle, it's over. Like things like that are starting to add up. But now it's like, okay, I had my time to be really tired, really exhausted, and now the show's coming up, so I'm starting to get that excitement and that adrenaline back. So definitely super tired. My recovery is taking a toll. I'm very weak in the gym, but I think I've done a good job of keeping my like mental game pretty strong, in the sense that I can keep pushing, I want to keep pushing, and I'm just excited for show day now. This one, I don't really understand the first question, to be honest, so I'm probably not going to answer it. It's the same person asking the questions. Can you tell us about the different poses and focus for each? I am no expert on every single bodybuilding category, like whatsoever. I do bikini. Basically what they're looking for in bikini is overall balance. So you want kind of like that S curve with your delt coming in slimmer on the waist and then having a little bit more of a pop in your glute is what they're looking for, especially in your front pose. With bikini, the poses are focused on like front pose and back. So they're kind of looking at that S curve. And then they're also looking at your glute hammy tie-in is another huge aspect of it. Different categories, that's not the word I want. Divisions have different things that they're looking for. So what they look for in bikini is not going to be what they look for in figure, not what they're going to look for in wellness versus female bodybuilding. So like there's a lot of things that go into it, and I'm also not a judge, so I'm not going to come out here and say this is why they do this. For bikini, all I'm going to say is they're looking for that balance aspect. They're overall looking for just like a healthy, balanced, feminine look. And then when people pose to back, okay, I don't know if I just can't read this question. I'm just gonna word it in the way that my brain is reading it, is why do bikini girls have their hair covering their back? It's because back is not something that's really judged during bikini. Like I said, the focus is more like on that S curve on your lower body and on that kind of like taper in. We're not turning around and flexing our back. When we're doing our back pose, our back isn't flexed. All that's happening is we're rounding our back to kind of stick out our glutes, and our hands are resting on our thighs. And then you'll see the rear delt kind of pop as well. The hair is down because the back is not the major muscle group that's being judged when it comes to bikini. Things differ per class. If you watch a figure girl, I'm not sure what wellness does. I don't think they move their hair, but figure for sure, when they hit their back pose, they'll go ahead and sweep their hair to the side so that they can focus on their lats and their back muscles. But that is something that they're more so focused on in figure. So again, it varies class to class, division to division. I'm not gonna go into specifics of it because I am not a judge. So can you talk about digestion? I'm guessing when it comes to digestion, just like how to keep it moving, how to keep things moving. Fiber is going to be number one. So you hear people talk a lot about like greens powders. I've taken greens powders before, but kind of just wanted to dive in on like what that is. Not just like this magic juice that is cleansing your body or anything like that. Greens is legitimately fiber. It is a powdered fiber with micronutrients in it as well. So when people are saying, oh my God, I'm so much less bloated because of my greens, my digestion's on point, I'm guessing maybe their fiber game was not on point previously to taking greens, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love greens. I loved mine when I had them. I ran out, never restocked, but they were great. I really enjoyed the taste of them. If you struggle to get micronutrients into your diet on a day-to-day basis, I would definitely recommend a greens powder. I think they're awesome, but keep in mind that that whole digestion bloating scenario is probably most likely coming from the amount of fiber that's coming from the greens powder and adding to your daily intake. Other things when it comes to digestion would be making sure you're properly hydrated, focusing on your micronutrients, whole foods, keeping an eye on any intolerances that you might have. So if you notice, okay, well, every time I eat gluten, I seem to have a tummy ache, I get a little bit bloated, maybe there's a slight intolerance there. Focusing on your stress levels. Stress has a huge role when it comes to overall digestion. So trying to manage your stress as best you can, trying to manage your sleep as best you can. There's a lot of things that go into it, other than just do this, and this, and you'll be fine. But just keep an open mind and know that just because you're having digestive issues, there could be a lot of things going on. I would recommend keeping an eye on your water, get your fiber in, fill your diet with some whole foods, get some movement in during the day. Like go ahead, go on some walks, hit the gym, whatever you enjoy doing. And yeah, that's pretty much what I got. I've never really struggled too much with digestion. I do when I travel sometimes, but again, I just think it's some stress on my body because my fiber doesn't change or anything like that. It's kind of just like I'm moving, I get a little bit anxious or something. But like I said, I used to take a greens. I don't have one anymore. I do take a supplement called Aura for gut health by Cure Nutrition. Has a bunch of amazing micronutrients in it. It actually doesn't have fiber, but it's absolutely amazing. Vitamin D, turmeric, zinc, ginger. There's just so much good stuff in that. This was a little bit short, but that is pretty much all the questions that I went through. I, again, can't find the other ones, so that is definitely my bad. I was trying to think if I got any more, but I think I covered majority. If you guys want to see another prep Q&A, hit me with some questions. Maybe I'll put another one on Instagram. Probably gonna do one when it comes to reverse dieting and such, but that is pretty much going to wrap it up. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. I hope you learned something. Hopefully it was entertaining in some sense. I really am not one to come on and like talk about myself very often, I feel like. So getting a little dive in to my life, see what I'm like, things like that is always fun. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. Give the video a thumbs up, comment down below to support me, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in the next video.